Depending on who you ask, Oklahoma has either 266,000 or 285,000 veterans, or somewhere in between. Then there's another number, 144,000. This is a number of patients enrolled to receive services through the Oklahoma City and Eastern Oklahoma VA. So which count is right? It's not a simple question to answer.
There are a lot of veterans that reside in Oklahoma and other states across the country and territories as well that don't register either with the VA or with the state. And so that is a population of veterans that aren't seen, in a sense, by the state or at the national level.
If a vet doesn't need VA health care, the GI Bill, or a VA home loan, they may not appear on any list. Oklahoma offers more limited benefits, including 7 long-term care homes and a sales tax exemption for some vets.
If you're someone that's separating from the military and you don't have a desire to participate or to apply for any of those benefits, there's no obligation to register with the VA.
LaPan says once you're out of the military, you can choose to just disappear. His father was a good example. He never asked for anything until years after leaving the Navy, when he got help paying for his hearing aids. Meanwhile, he likely never appeared on anyone's list.
He had until that point gone through, decades post-service without ever asking for any kind of assistance either at the state level or at the national level.
Eventually, all Oklahoma vets who want services from the state will be required to enroll with the Oklahoma Veterans Registry. Almost 9,500 vets are there now. We reached out to the Oklahoma Department of Veteran Affairs about the list. The agency told us ODVA is working to connect with veterans to share the importance of joining the Oklahoma Veterans Registry at every opportunity. This includes discussion at veterans outreach events, public presentations, service organization meetings, and one-on-one meetings with veteran service providers. Veterans face greater risk of suicide and homelessness, as well as other mental health issues. Having an accurate count would mean more vets could access services they've earned, with more money coming to Oklahoma.
Individuals, for a variety of reasons, leave the military, want to put that chapter behind them, want to move on, and don't think about those things until they're needed. And sometimes they never see the need for it.
Some of us get weird, man. I've had some friends just disappear.
Like many who leave the service in their 20s, Clint Lucian didn't need much when he got out. He got a partial disability rating for tinnitus so he could get a discounted hunting and fishing license.
For me, the reason I delayed and didn't sign up for certain things was A, at the time I didn't feel like I needed them. And B, I didn't really know what all was out there.
The loss of a close friend in combat left a lasting impression both on his mind and on his body.
This started out as a memory piece for Lance Corporal Trevor A. Roberts. He was a Marine from Moore, Oklahoma that was on my team. And that's called the Field Cross. That was to commemorate Trevor.
Lucian understands why some vets seek out care and others don't, but he says explaining what he might need down the road and how to get it would have helped.
When I got done, there was, some guidance to go get registered at the VA hospital. But outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot of instruction as far as here's what life is going to be like as a vet.
Even with his Marine Corps service, Lucian didn't know about the state registry. He suspects many of his fellow vets don't either. As for vets not being counted,
I don't think that's surprising at all. I would say most vets seek registration out of need. For example, if they need health care benefits, they may get looped into additional registration, but as far as state registration, it's not very well known.
For a link to the Oklahoma Veterans Registry, visit the As Seen On page of KOCO.com. Alejandra Briones, KOCO 5 News.